All right. Hi, everyone. So, basically, today is the 19th episode of our weekly program, and today we're gonna have Tim Vantol. He's an amazing artist, and I'm gonna just join him in the call, and we're gonna start talking like in a minute. All right. Hi, brother.
It works. Nice.
How are you, brother? You
Nice.
good?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm all right, man. Can you hear me well and see me well?
Everything perfect.
Oh, perfect, man.
How's the other
Amazing.
way around? Is it good?
Amazing, brother.
That's good.
Just
Nice.
first of all, man, let me thank you so much for like your time and your energy as well, and for like joining in this program, man.
Anytime, man. Well, thanks a lot for asking me.
Oh,
It's
dude.
always nice. It's good to see you again. It's been a really long time.
Oh
And
man, for sure, brother.
where are you now? Are you in London or are you in Portugal?
I'm in Norwich,
Yeah, nice.
UK.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you're in Germany right now, right?
I'm in the very south of Germany. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah,
brother.
back home.
Amazing. Now, man, I'm really happy that we have this opportunity to speak, because I think it's really like necessary that we like open up like talks and conversations about like inspiring people. And for me, brother, you were like you're an inspiration and an example, as like a singer songwriter, a musician, an artist. So for that reason, I really want to yeah, to speak to you and go through some like subjects here in the conversation.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do that, man.
Ah,
Nice.
perfect, man. First of all, brother, how did your musical journey started? Like, was when it was you were young or teenager, or like how did it started?
It's been a while ago. That's all I can say. No, I started playing guitar when I was 15 years old. I don't know if I don't think it's average. I think the most people, I wish it was earlier, but it isn't. No, I wanted to do something different, like a sport, instead of sport actually. And I asked my mom, and she had a guitar in the attic. So yeah, that's how I started, without even knowing how to play guitar. And that must have been really weird. If I just think about it now, I think that was pre YouTube time.
All right.
So it was not easy to fix, to check out how things were working. But no, it was yeah. Ever since I've been playing guitar, I'm not the best guitar player, I know, but for me, it's more than enough to play the things that I want to play, and that's the most important for me. And as soon as I had a guitar, I had a friend of mine who also had the same kind of crap guitar. So we challenged each other to play songs. It must have sounded terrible, really. That's all I can say. Um, yeah, it was really weird if I think about it. Like, I really didn't know how it even worked. But yeah, so I had a bunch of friends. I lived in a street. It was a really great, awesome street because there were all these kids the same age as me, and we always hang out with each other. It must have been like about 8 or 10 people, mostly of the same age, and they were always my friends. And so yeah, the one played drums, the one started to play bass, and we started our first bands. And
Amazing. Yeah,
must be
that's what I
terrible for
was.
the neighborhood.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, if you had like played in bands and other projects before you like went like with like Tim Vantol,
Yeah.
and and as also which influences like put you like interested in playing music? Like, what is like your main influences, or they change throughout the time?
They change every minute. That's all I can say. No, so in that same street, I had a couple of friends, and they came up with like tapes from their older brothers, and it was punk rock music. It was No Effects. It was the Heideroosjes. It's a Dutch punk rock band. Um, and so many others, and it all grew. And then I still remember I went with my parents to the United States for a holiday, and I went into every record store because records were cheap there. You know, like CDs you bought them for $5. It was crazy. And that's where I bought my first Punkorama CD. I don't know if you know them.
Yeah, yeah, Punkorama, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was number 5, I do believe. And I've been listening that one like completely. You know, if it would be vinyl, it would be completely trash right now. But it was CD, so I could, you know. But that's how I started with everything. That started the whole punk rock thing. And soon after that, I started my first punk rock bands. But I don't have to mention their names because like no one actually knew them. It was all small, but no, we had a good time. While my friends at school went to discos and clubs, me and my buddies, we drove all through Holland and even Belgium and France to just play shows and in youth centers. So instead of spending too much money on expensive drinks in clubs, we were getting free beer. That's all. You know, we didn't make money, but it didn't cost us money. So I was really enjoying that. It was a chaotic time, but it was, when I think about it, it was the best time ever. So yeah, and after that, you know, I had some bands mostly with the same people, but we just changed setup. I joined the Dutch band Intellectual, but I was already playing solo, but it was just a short time. But yeah, I was always with those bands, mostly 3-piece, and I struggled because I was always the most motivated guy to just go for it. I always wanted to, let's do this, let's go on tour there, and enjoy it. But there was a lot of shit work involved with it.
Exactly.
You know? Back then, we used to call venues, you know, or maybe send them an email. That's I don't know if that was already about happening. Yeah, I think emails started. And you would send out 200 emails, and you could be lucky if you only had 1 or 2 replies. But I sent out probably 1,000, you know, and each by hand. And it was just crazy. Or I would just call the clubs and say, like, hey, did you get my email? I didn't get a reply. But yeah, we played every weekend with my best buddies. But I also realized the struggle because I always wanted to. But then my friends, you know, his grandma had a birthday or whatever, and he had to go there. And I was like, I want to do everything for this. So I let a lot of things really bad, actually, of me. I regret some things, but I just really let a bunch of things slip away because I was so much focused on making music. So yeah, and that's where I saw my friends took me to a concert to Rotterdam of Chuck Reagan.
Oh, nice.
And I think it must have been 20 people in the crowd, just really small. And I looked at him playing his guitar, and I was like, he is so right. You know, fuck that. I don't have to struggle with anyone anymore. Just grab an acoustic guitar and play the songs I want, wherever, whenever I want it. And that's how it all started. I got myself an acoustic guitar, and I decided to continue on my own. Next to the bands, I mean, I still had the band, but yeah. So that's what it started.
When was that? Like, what year was that? When you're like, okay, I'm gonna start like doing my own stuff.
I think it must have been 2008.
Wow.
I remember that Road Street Road, my first album, was released in 2009.
Yeah.
So I think overall, I mean, a lot of things happened, man. I wish I could all remember everything, but no, I decided to move to Sweden. Back then, and as I couldn't work there and as I didn't speak the language, I had to write songs, and I went into the studio there, and that's where Road Street Road happened.
That's
from
awesome.
there on, I've been just touring.
Buddy, like I started like talking a little bit about like your experience like in the past and like how you got into music, because I somehow feel that like those days were like the foundation of some like the ideals and morals like that you have like till like today in music, like the fact that you're like an independent DIY artist, the fact that you're like always like on the front line, like working and touring and figuring out the next step, and like that, like at least that's like how I perceive it, you know. and I think like it's important to also like inform other people that like your career is not like an overnight success, and it's an everyday like work that you've been like pursuing for years. You know, it's
Hmm.
important for people to understand like the dynamics of careers like ours. You know, and
Yeah.
and like um and another thing that I really like, I really think is like important to say is that you play from festivals to big venues, small venues, and I also remember that like living room tour that you did a couple
Yeah.
years ago and you documented. So it's really cool to see like an artist that you just like decided, okay, I'm gonna like simplify, I'm gonna pick my guitar, write
Mhm.
songs, and I'm gonna just share what I have to share. Like tell us a little bit like the importance of touring, because I think it's a big part of it.
Mhm.
How was like the importance of touring like in the early days of the project, then like the halfway through and like nowadays?
Um, I mean, when I started, so let's say 2009, that's where I had the record and I just started the tour. Um, I was still young, and for me, that was the reason why I started this. I had a job, and it was all fine for the first time. I liked my bosses, everything good, but I just also realized if I wanna go like fully touring, not with the thoughts that in 10 years I will still be doing this, but I was like, well, if I want to do it, if I want to go crazy with some tours, maybe for 1 year, maybe 2 years, it's now, it's the time, now or never. So it was important, yeah, and it was also important to tour a lot because I left everything. I bought from the money that I saved up. I bought a van, and that's where it all started. And I had to play. And maybe I mean I didn't make much, not at all actually. I think the first 2 3 years just only cost money, and that also became a big struggle. But
Yeah,
it was the life and it was the lifestyle that I really enjoyed. Maybe it was a little bit too much party back in the days. Nothing crazy, but it there was a focus. I was free. I could travel. I could hang out. I could meet new people, which is still probably the most important thing for me to do right now as well. But at the
exactly.
beginning, I also learned I just have to tour a lot, like crazy, because um, the more I return to all those places, the more people will hopefully show up, or I'm doing something wrong. So that's what I did. I think the first years I've played between 100, 150 shows a year, um, and that was unhealthy actually, to be honest, especially in the way that I was touring.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, those were the first years where I was mostly alone, so that was easy. I've traveled in a Renault Twingo through whole Europe. I've done all the weird things, but I think halfway I just also started to miss having a band or miss sharing it with friends, except from
Yeah.
other touring musicians that I enjoyed being surrounded by. But no, I miss having a band, so that's where I decided to just invite some friends of mine and do once a year a full band tour, and
Because
that is
when I met you
yeah.
back in 2012, I think it was a band
Well, I think it
show.
was 13 actually,
2013,
2013. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
2013 was a full band show in
Yeah.
Porto.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was not the first one. I think that must have been the second one, or maybe the third one actually.
Nice.
But no, it always changed every year. I just invited other people from different countries, which could also be pretty tricky, but it worked out really well. And now that was half away. Like then I needed to survive even more because I was inviting other people, and the tours were getting
Oh,
more expensive. Still not expensive, but for me back then it was,
yeah.
it was crazy. It was a big struggle, and yeah, that's actually how it is. And nowadays it's touring. I still love it. Sadly, this year it's not possible.
Yeah. Sadly, this year is not possible,
Yeah.
but like but yeah, I think like it's important like to just like let people know like the importance of going like touring and going on the road and sharing
Mm-hmm.
your message, because like from our background, like a DIY or like an independent scene,
Mm-hmm.
like you actually need to interact with different people, and by touring you can like physically develop like a network, you know,
Yeah.
instead of like an online, it's more like of a physical approach and you're like
Mm-hmm.
with people. So yeah, like, and this to go to the next to the
Yeah. No.
next thing.
Uh-huh.
um I think like because of what I just said, like the DIY scene is mainly about like the connection as well, and making friends, and like making friends that share like a vision like similar to you. um I know that like has been struggles on the like the road because it's like that, but do you think it was worth it?
Was it worth it? Yes, I think so, definitely. But would I do it again? No, never. No, I think my mother-in-law yesterday asked me. I'm about having a kid soon, so she asked me like, "Well, are you okay if your kid will be a musician?" And I was like, or a touring musician, and I was like, yeah, I am, because I want my kid, my son or daughter, I don't know yet. I want it to be happy, but I will definitely try to help out when it
Yeah,
wants to become a musician, because it's an ugly world. That's all I can say. And I know you. I mean, you talk right now a lot about DIY and independent and everything, but that was not always the case.
all right.
I've had a management. I've had labels I work with, and I still have people behind. The stage that we don't see, that will help me out. But most, I mean, now I would say yes. I'm back at where I started, um, organization wise.
Yeah,
But I've seen it all, and I also realized this, like the DIY thing, makes me happier and satisfier than it, for example, with a management. Um,
right.
but yeah, it's I'm happy that I did it, because I've seen a lot, and I've met a lot of great people, seen some beautiful countries, and got to meet people like you, for example. And that's you know the people that I got to, your best friends back home from back in the days, they will all go at the end, especially when you're always gone. They will invite you for a birthday the first time, the second birthday again, and you're not
I
able
feel
to.
you, bro.
And the third one, they were like, well, we're not going to ask him. And I totally understand. It
Yeah,
makes me really sad back in the days, but I totally understand. So your new friends going to be those people on the road that might also understand your situation. Um, but, they will never be as close.
yeah,
I will not, bother you by calling you by night, telling you how terrible I feel. I know I could do, and you
yeah.
could do
You
the
can,
same.
you can.
And we talk, over the internet, but it's a bit different. But I like
Yeah,
it as well,
yeah,
because those people that I got to meet over the years, they are my friends, and the door is always open. If there's something I can help with, or you need a place, then you have to be quick now, because there soon is going to be a baby screaming all day and all night. But until then, no. But it's I I don't know. I'm happy that I did it, but I would never be able to do it again, because
all right.
it were rough years, health
I
wise,
I understand, man.
financially wise. Um, yeah, and that's something that I don't want to experience anymore. It's still a fight
Yeah,
over the years, mentally, but also financially, it's always a struggle, and I don't know. It
but
will
yeah,
always be.
like I understand, like I totally understand what you say, because like for someone that like never like went to the road and did like 150 shows a year, they won't understand. It takes not only energy but like a lot of like persistency, you know, like it's not something that is easy to do. People might think that we're sometimes living like the dream and the best life ever, like, and at certain extent we are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's necessary to like, especially for like kids that want to like pursue the same dreams as we do. It's good that they know what they're gonna face. They know like what obstacles like they're gonna have in the way. You know, that's why I think it's really important like to have this information available, and we can speak out a little bit like about, yeah, like for example, like if you had to tell like a new singer-songwriter with 15 years old, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, what would you recommend him to do, like first, second, and third, for example? Like
my first thing I would recommend: don't fucking do it. I had this question a lot of times, and I'm honest, and that's what I always said. Like, just don't do it, or don't do it the way I did it. You know, I made a hard cut. I had a life, I had a job, I had everything, and at one point I just made a cut. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make music, I'm gonna move to Sweden, I'm gonna record an album, and I go touring. That was the way how I did it, and I'm still doing this. So in some way, yes, cool. I always keep on telling people, try to get at least a part-time job, because the financially thing, and it's just fucked up, because it's always money, but you know, it's what we need. And it's how we survive. But the financial struggle is so fucked up that it can ruin you, like, completely, because you're always worried. You're always worried, like, am I be able to pay rent, or am I be able to even buy food? Dude, I've been to the French supermarket, the Carrefours, all the fucking time. I brought those cheap ass milk bread with that slimy cheese slices, and that's what I ate for fucking weeks, you know. And that's why I always keep saying to the people that really want to, just work hard, work extremely hard, do everything. Don't focus too much on what you think you're worth, because you're worth nothing, maybe, or well, it sounds hard. I don't mean it that way, but
I get it.
You know, don't focus on that. Just focus on the thing that you love, and that's making music. And go have a part-time job next to it, so you will have money that you know, you can pay your rent, so you don't have to worry about that. And then do the thing you love, and only because you love it. And that's the other thing. If you wanna make music because you think you're gonna get rich, or you're gonna have a good life, you know, just no. That chance is minimal.
Yeah.
You know? I cannot complain, but to be honest, I don't have a luxury life, and I don't need a luxury. Oh, I mean, it would be great. No, just kidding. I don't have a luxury life, but I have a roof above my head and I have food on the table. And all that matters is within a couple of months, I can take care of my family, or at least a little kid. And, you know, and we try our best.
No, man. And congratulations, brother. I didn't congratulate you.
Oh, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Yeah, scary times. But that's another thing, you know, because at the beginning, I didn't have any responsibilities. I don't own a house, you know. I pay fucking too much rent every month. But other than that, like, you know, but it's gonna change. So new worries, you know, new worries. That's all I can say. Yeah.
And dude, you also have a new record out, Better Days.
Yes.
Like, this record is somehow a little bit like different from the rest of your work. Like, I don't know.
So?
It's fresher. I don't know.
Explain it to me. I'm curious. No, it's really awesome to hear. So that's good.
I don't know, man. Like, it sounds like Tim. Oh, sorry. Let me open. Sorry.
Don't worry. Hi, everyone that's watching.
sorry. My dog just yeah, my girlfriend
Oh, good.
arrived home, so my
Ah,
dog just like
dog is happy. Nice.
yeah, nobody. I mean, like I really I really think like there's like an actual like fresh sound to it.
Hmm.
And yeah, like I don't know really like how to put it in words, and especially in English. And
Say in
especially
Portuguese, I will not understand it, but
no,
just fucking
especially
understood it.
because like it's more of like it's more of like when I listen to music, it's sensation, you know, it's emotion.
Hmm.
So I don't. It's hard for me to explain like in
Yeah.
words how it touched me. I
Hmm.
just felt like it was like fresher, or some like your approach. It still sounds like Tim Vantol, obviously, you know,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
luckily.
there's like a fresh twist to it.
Okay.
What and I mean, I felt I, I felt like uplifting, positive, but those things I feel from your other works as well. You know,
Hmm.
like it's songs that not all the songs are happy songs, but they're songs that put you like uplifted. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I mean, it's positive and optimistic mostly, and especially the last record. Yeah, totally agree with that.
exactly.
Yeah,
I think the last record more than the other ones,
true.
and even
Yeah.
like I think like it's even like on the title of the record, Better Days, right?
Yeah.
And but like enough like talking about what I think about it. What was like the intention behind this new record, you know, like after all these years of doing music and recording music, what was like the intention and like the sorry bro.
No. That's all good. Just keep on going. No, yeah, you're totally right. I mean, this album comes from a totally different place, actually, and it's always pretty tough for me to talk about it. But I guess I wrote this album, so I need to talk about this. Um, no, I've been struggling quite some time with depression, and especially the last years, and it turned out really bad, and it became worse and worse, until a certain point where I decided I can't continue like this. I need to do something, and that's what I did. This is the easy way right now, and I say it really simple, which is
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
because
I
it's
understand.
not. But it's, for me, it's still tough to talk about it, and I'm not the kind of guy that goes extremely deep into those things, but I will try my best. I will try my best. No, I actually wrote. No, let's say it differently. When I release an album, straight after that I go on tour, and after a while, someone will mention, "Hey Tim, isn't it time to write a new album again?" And that's where I start to panic. And I did that after my latest album, the one before, Better Days, Burning Desires. The end of 2018, someone came up to me and said it. And I was like, shit, yeah, I have to do it. I was like, well, I'm gonna write an EP. And that EP turned out so extremely dark because I was not in a good place. I was
Yeah,
doing extremely bad. Um, so I wrote that EP, and it wasn't me. It
all
was
right.
not the person I want to be when I play these songs. It would not make me feel comfortable. So I threw it all away. And I thought I first need to work on myself, because if I continue like this, I will not be here for a lot longer. Um, so yeah.
Man, I get you, brother, and I understand, especially because like in the life we live and what we do is like it's kind of like hard to sometimes get like you know that like
Oh,
you know
that's what I say as well. Is making music is probably one of the most unhealthiest things life you can have. Um, and I try to warn people as well, that says like, "Oh, I want to go touring and everything." I mean, I don't want to sound too much, or like want people to avoid it. Not at all, because making music is also great, but the way how you do it, it's unhealthy. Making music, go on stage is unhealthy. Why? Because you go on stage and there is a bunch of people in front of you applauding.
Yeah.
and which gives you a high indirectly, you know, because I don't care if it's 2 people or 200 people or 2,000 people. Of course, it's nice. The more, the better. But you know, it's just something that it's just unhealthy. It's, you know, it's not good. So those highs are high. You know, when people come to you and say like, "Oh, I really like your stuff," or "Oh, thank you very much," or whatever. Great, but unhealthy. Because as soon as you're back at home again, those are things that are gone. And I don't know. I think it does indirectly does something with you. For some people, it directly does something. But I just realized it's just, I don't know. It just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. There's not a constant, and that can really ruin you. To be honest, that's what I think.
That's why like I think it's really important like to keep yourself like grounded and like try to nurture like self-love, self-respect, like in this kind of like environments, you know, like the reason I started as well, like We Bless This Mess and all these kind of like music with this kind of message was yeah, was basically to also teach myself when I'm like not in the best place. I have like a platform or a way to just like tune in and boof, be like on the top of my game again, you know, like I totally understand what you say, and I felt that before as well, you know, like the the gratefulness of being like in a stage and being like cheered and stuff, and then like the even in the same day or in the same night, like you go to like a floor when you're gonna sleep after. You know, like sometimes you have a hotel, sometimes you have a floor, so like and like and there's like such like contrast between one like reality and then like the emptiness of the other one. So I think what is really important like at some point is to just like stay true to ourselves, you know, like and feel like
that is the most important thing, but also to appreciate the small things, you know. At least it works for me. I still remember, and I always think back to that moment, because it's exactly how I roll and how me and the people with me on tour roll. But I have to thank my old bass player for this, because I was in Holland. I played a show in Holland, and it was nicely packed. And I remember that I only sold one CD, and I was frustrated. I was like, why do I, you know, I play this and you know, this full room and only one CD left. And then he came up to me, he's like, yes, but Tim, just think about it. There's another person going out this room with a CD of yours. And that, you know, twisted completely. And that's how we always approach it. And it's even, I got this question a lot as well, because if I play in front of 2 people, and it still happens, you know, it still happens. There are countries where, you know, there might be 10 people or whatever. But I just, you know, I have to realize and have to think about it. Like, wait a second, those 2 or those 10 people took the effort to come and see me in a place where I've never been, or where I've hardly been, or not even close, or whatever. You know, that is amazing. And that's the thing that keeps my feet on the ground, and to appreciate the small things. Of course, it's also frustrating sometimes, but especially in those moments, you just have to switch and you have to think about it. You have to think about it. Oh, wait, these people never seen me before, but they took the effort to come over. And that's amazing. And that's only going to help yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, for sure.
And I got, today I had an interview as well, and that person asked me, like, do you have dreams or still things you want to, you know, you want to do or whatever? And I was like, no, I never, what I'll always say is like, I never had a bucket list, but I never made a bucket list, but I got 3 bucket lists full already. And all I want to say is that I never expected anything, and I don't have dreams. It sounds weird, but I don't have dreams, because if you're gonna expect things or have dreams, there might be a big chance that you will be disappointed. And everything that happened so far, I never expected it was gonna happen. You know, who would have known that after 11 years, I'm still doing this, and still with the same joy. You know, of course, there have been struggles, but this is still the thing that I love to do most. And maybe tomorrow or next week, I don't enjoy it anymore, and I need to do something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it's only good for yourself to take a step back sometimes, and just to realize how lucky you actually are. Because that's the thing. What you also said is like that one time you're on stage and everyone is cheering and you have a high. That other moment, you're alone and you're extremely low. That's where people start, for example, to drink a lot, to do a lot of drugs, just to, you know, try to get, and I totally understand it. But I also decided for myself to, you know, the first years were, all party, all cool and whatever. And, you know, have a lot of beers. And the next day I would struggle with my voice. I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't want to fall deeper. And if that's the way how I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it.
No, exactly, brother. Exactly. I feel you, man. I feel you. And you were talking about like an interesting issue, like in the music industry, and like the whole like show business thing. Like the fact that it's not only that like hype and low that makes you drink and like consume like drugs and stuff, but there's, I mean, I don't know if you ever felt that, but in my case, I felt like this kind of like pressure from sometimes the guys from the venue or like audience, the pressure that people, because you're a musician, you need to drink and you need to party and you need to, you know, like,
yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Like, and what's your like technique to, like, you know,
bring
like...
it on. I'm gonna give you all the tricks. No, it's totally true. It's totally true, because, you know, when especially back in the days, luckily doesn't happen that much anymore. But when I stayed at people's houses, I slept there. They all were like, "Oh, we're gonna have a party. We're gonna have beers and drinks or whatever." And I was like, "Dude, I'm like for 2 months straight on tour without a day off." I can do that the first week maybe, and then after a while I'll just think like, I'm not gonna survive this but for them it's always the first day, you know.
Yeah.
And I need to continue. So now you need to stay strong with that. I like to have a beer, and I like to have maybe something else. I don't know, you know, like a whiskey or whatever, but I'm not gonna go crazy anymore.
Yeah.
Because the reason why is that as soon as I go crazy, the next day my voice will be fucked up. That also means my next show, and it doesn't even matter if I got 20 euros for that show or if it's a massive show or whatever. No, I just want to give the people that took the effort to come to my show exactly the same show, or exactly the same effort as I did on the day before. And I think it would be so unfair if I would be like, if I fucked up because I just wanted to drink or whatever. There are lots of bands that can do that. I cannot do that anymore. You know, and that's why I also decided, no, I don't want that. And I don't care if someone get into a show for free, or if there's someone who paid 20 euros or whatever for a ticket. You know, everyone that took the effort should get exactly the same energy or the input from me. And I would hate myself nowadays if I just fucked it up. And to be honest, there always might be a possibility that you fuck it up sometimes. But it should not, you know, but it should not be on a daily basis. And that's not what I want. You know, I want to give everything the best I can.
No, man, because that's the thing. Like, I watched a show. The first time I watched you was in Portugal, and probably the first time you ever came. And it was like for like 30-40 people. And then I watched you.
Was it? I don't think it was, man. I just
even less.
I think it was only you. No, I think, it was you and the band, and maybe two or
Really?
four
Oh,
people.
fuck. I thought.
I remember the bar in the corner, right?
Yeah. The bar in
Yeah,
the corner.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I watched that show, and man, for me, like it was like magical, you know, because first I was like, as well, like on a transition to like I used to play like punk bands, punk hardcore bands, and I
Mm,
was like transitioning into like this whole like folk punk experience, you know,
yeah.
and I watched that show, and for me it was like wow, you know, and it was with the full band. But like some years, oh, the previous owner of the venue is here.
Ah, really? Nice, nice. How are you doing?
But yeah, like, and it was incredible to watch you live a couple of years later,
Uh-huh.
solo in Czech Republic, like,
When was that?
Mighty Sounds,
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. There was yeah,
and
yeah,
um,
2 years
and like,
ago. Yeah.
and even though you were playing solo, it was like huge, you
Yeah, it
know.
was good. It was good to see you there. Yeah.
It's really like that's like the thing I really like enjoy about you, you know, like it really doesn't matter where you are. Oh, and the shows in Spain as well, like all
Of
different like
course. Yeah, we've been
all
there
all,
together.
all,
Yeah.
all like all different like experiences
Hmm.
and venues and like different like backgrounds and stuff, but you always like give like 110%, you
Yeah.
know. That's like wonderful to see.
But
And
that's what I want.
especially
That's what I want. Or else I should not do it.
no, man, especially and especially now, like even like getting more into detail about like your life and how did you like came and how did you like evolve to be the person you are today and the artist
Hmm.
you are today, the struggles and everything, to see that like after all these years you're still like doing it and you're still like passionate about it, you know. That's like really wonderful to see. It's
Hmm.
inspiring, and I think is an example, you know. People should like not only respect you because of the great work you do musically, but
Uh,
like as well like the person that is um behind like the persona on stage singing,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's why that's why I'm like I'm really thankful that you joined in today, man.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground with this speaking for 40 minutes now.
I know, man. It's every podcast, every interview I do, they always say like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna last in half an hour," and like 2 hours later, we're still talking. But that's what it is, you know. If you want to talk with me about things, I'm just gonna talk.
Nah, man, it's wonderful. I'm really grateful, man. Usually, in this show, we try to finish like with a positive note or something that you want to share, a message of hope or inspiration. I don't know if you have one, but if you have, just let us know.
No, man. I really don't have. I don't know. No, no. It's just be who you are. That's all I can say, and just respect yourself and respect other people. That's the most important thing. And treat other people the same as you wish to be treated. And that's no. I really don't know. I just I
Yeah,
don't.
that's the golden rule, like right there, you know, like treat other people like you wanted to be treated. I think that's
Yeah,
like
but I don't know. It's a tough one because I'm not one that makes beautiful lines or whatever or it's because I don't know things myself either. So who am I to tell other people what to do or to make feel better? It's just do
but
whatever.
sometimes that's the best thing you can say as well, that you don't know, you know, that you don't know what to
Oh
say.
man,
That's
that's
like
that's
that's perfect,
that's
you
what
know.
I figured out the last bunch of weeks. There's so much going on in the world, and I simply don't know. And I simply uh, everyone has an opinion about everything, and I'm just done having an opinion about everything because
Yeah.
no matter how you're gonna do, you're gonna there are gonna be people that are gonna disagree with you or agree with you. I don't have an
Yeah.
opinion anymore. No, it's a tough period at the moment, but no, just try to be good to the world yourself, and that's all. That's all that matters, because only you can make a difference for
Exactly,
yourself.
brother.
And
Fuck yeah.
that's what
Dude,
it is.
I totally forget to check like comments and stuff. But
So we go. So we go to comments. Let's see.
there's a couple. I think there's like a couple questions as well. There's like a question here. What's the best thing about your jobs at the moment? How do you still keep the dream alive? I think this is regarding lockdown and stuff like that as well, like the fact that we can play live.
To be honest, I'm extremely frustrated. I was at the beginning. I was really easy about this whole lockdown thing, but I'm worried. I'm gonna be honest. I'm always the guy like, oh yeah, it's all fine. It's all fine. No, it's not fine. I'm worried. Because what I also say, like, now we have to be active, like what you do right now. You have to be active on social media and focus on that. And that's not the reason why I made music or why I want to make music. And that frustrates me, because I don't want to do all the social media. I know it's a part of it, but I don't want to be only doing this.
Exactly.
So that frustrates, which gives me the dream alive. I just released a new album, so it's a fresh start. But that's all I can say.
Exactly, brother.
But I'm frustrated, to be honest. Yeah, I have hope for the near future that we can go on tour again, or play shows, or find solutions. But no, I don't know. I mean, I need to keep the hope alive, but I don't know what's gonna be next.
There's another question here. Records going to release the Team Vantol in the US?
I don't know. AF Records. Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you know, like lately, like some people from the States are asking, like, oh, where can I get your merch? Where can I get your record and whatever? It's like, guys, I cannot. How you think that I can easily just throw out a merch shop in the States? It's impossible. But yeah, you know, we try our. Well, it's good. Well, it's good. He's just asked Tim knows I'm always down. Did I know that? We gotta talk. Send me an email. We gotta talk about it. Yeah.
There's also here. There's honesty in your comments about the music industry, and we all feel that. There's one.
Oh,
here.
We could talk 5 hours. How I just completely go crazy in the music industry.
Yeah. Me too. Each of team, you can feel each show of team, you can feel the energy. No matter what music genre, the most important the most important thing for the audience is to feel that the artist is authentic, and team is 100%.
Well, that's the thing I want to say as well. That's always what I keep in mind is when I see a show or check out a show, I don't want to see someone on stage who doesn't want to be there, because that ruined the whole night for me, you know. And that thing in mind, that's exactly the way what we talked about earlier. Like, you should treat other people the same way, you know. And that's the whole thing, you know. Like, if I want to see a show, I hate it if there's a piece of shit on stage being arrogant or being the fucking rock star or whatever. I don't like that. Or if you can always have a bad day. Really, I figured it out myself.
Exactly.
But, you know, just don't go crazy on stage and be pissed off of people. That's not, you know, because then you should not enter a stage.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough. I also realize you cannot always have a good day, but then you have to go through it, because that's the moment of the day that people took the effort to come to your show. Or you just gonna go on stage and say, like, hey, people, listen, I have a terrible day, but let's make the best out of it. And that's the way to approach it. And no, really, if there's, I've seen it, and I've shared stage with those people, and which I liked at the beginning, and at the end I was just felt like, well, fuck it, I'm never gonna buy a record anymore. Maybe I'm a dick when it becomes, you know, when it comes to that point, but it's just not how I wanna. That's not now.
I totally get you, man. I totally get you. Yeah. and there. Sorry, let me.
Oh, go. Don't worry. We still got 11. We still got 11 minutes before.
Yeah, we have
Instagram's gonna shut down.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so happy for this conversation, and we're having a lot of people like interacting. So I want to thank everybody as well. We
Yeah,
have
cool.
more comments.
Bring it on.
Thanks a lot for the show, guys. Keep it up. Much respect for this attitude, man. People are loving this, man.
Yeah, but
No,
that's the thing, that why would people compliment with the attitude? Because it's just normal. We're all the fucking same, and we should just act normal. There's
yes,
so I don't really, that pisses me off. And but then again, like, who am I to have an opinion about what other people think or what other people feel? Because they feel something different than I do. But still, I
yeah,
think really we should all just relax and respect each other. That's
yes,
I just don't say it right now just to be cool or whatever. But it's just, it would make the world so much easier.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Especially
Like
these days.
going back a little to that like question of like when you're like on stage, you have to basically not be a dick.
Yeah.
My father is also a musician, like,
Okay, cool.
and like I remember one of the things he told me when I was like starting like playing live and stuff. One of the things he told me is like a musician on stage, he doesn't have a sad day, like it's your like responsibility to give your heart to the crowd and the audience,
Yeah.
and that's what, and my I think also because like there's like probably some like cultural thing going on because my father, I'm half Portuguese, half Brazilian, so
Yeah.
my father is the Brazilian part of my family, and like I always noticed that like no matter how fucked up like the personal life situation is, music should always, like, that's his like kind of vision. Music should always be like a channel for the best in you, and to show out like the I don't know, I'm trying to express
Yeah, no,
myself.
I totally get it, and I'm gonna talk against what I said earlier, but also, I mean, it's the same thing. Is you can have a sad day.
Yeah,
we're all human. We all have feelings, and we can all have a fucked up day, and that's totally fine. It's just the way how you approach it, and especially on stage. Like, just don't be a dick, or at least just go on stage and say like, people, I have a really fucking terrible day.
yeah, yeah,
And I
honestly,
need to find a solution, and I'm really sorry if I might not look as happy as I should, but just explain it in that case. But there's still a difference between being a dick or, having a shit day.
yeah,
Just explain it, because it's just normal. I mean,
exactly right.
we all have the same. Only because you're on stage, you need to be different? No. I mean, so far so good. I mean, I've always been, stage switch off and like, fuck it. This is my time. This is my happy moment of the day. And that what really was, and it always is.
Yeah,
That's all. That's also the thing that I'm trying to say lately, because of the whole depression thing of the last years. Have I been like acting? No, because I was always really happy to be on stage, but I was completely lost at
yeah,
another point as well, and especially as soon as I'm off stage or out of the venue or whatever, or not surrounded by those people. And so I haven't been lying, because it was my happy moment, but it could also be the way for other people that it's a struggle. And I also had struggles. I also had like really terrible moments, or when I hit the stage, I was like, shit, I cannot do this at the moment because whatever happened. But for me, so far, it's what I say the whole time. When people in front of me have a good time, and they give me the energy back, that. Oh man, that's the best thing that can happen for someone, even if someone feels like really fucked up.
oh yeah, man, oh yeah.
That's, and that's, yeah, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, man, and also because like the same way it takes 1 minute to get sad, takes 1 minute also to get back up and get happy, and sometimes like a little a little spark, like in a show or something, like, or a
Yeah.
song, can just like,
Yeah.
like simple as that, with no.
I mean, it can also the opposite way.
Yeah,
You know?
it can also exactly, exactly. It can also be the opposite, buddy. There's someone saying here, please save the session on IGTV for reviewing it. Thanks. Thank you so very much. I love you both. Oh man, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This conversation will be available on IGTV later and on YouTube as well. So yeah,
Nice.
so people can rewatch it again. Buddy, we have 5 more minutes before Instagram shut us down.
We gotta make it full. We gotta make it completely full. I have.
Oh yeah.
Yes, let's do this.
No man.
Even if we could just stare at each other.
We can do some eye gazing and be super spiritual now, you know. No man, like again, dude, it's been a pleasure, like talking for almost an hour with you.
Yeah.
Not only because of like the whole like spectrum of like different subjects that we talked about, but also because this is actually a way for me to communicate with people. I'm still not working and obviously not touring because I'm a tattoo artist and stuff like that. So I'm still at home. So man, I really want to thank you for.
I need to come by the tattoo studio, man. I'm still missing a Nelson one, man. We're gonna work on that as soon as
we're gonna work on that.
We're gonna see each other again. Yeah, that will be really great.
Nah, dude, but I'm just like, man, I'm just like happy that you first like accepted my invitation, man, and like this hour or this like hours of the day that I'm having like lately, this is really helping me out. And I never thought like, I always thought like, oh yeah, music, tattoos. But then I'm like, wait a second, like I've been like meeting people all over the world and interesting people. Why not like talking, you know, like the simple act of like communication that it's been like taking away because of the situations and stuff. Yeah. Why not bring it back?
It's also more authentic when you have a discussion like this, and it's actually really nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We should do it every week.
Yeah.
No, you will get so fed up with me, man, if you have to talk with me every week, man. No, but it's really nice. It's also for me, you know. I've done those sessions, you know, live sessions, which is at one point is nice. It's not the same as it is, you know, and the reason why is that you don't see other people. So the last couple of weeks with podcasts and video calls or whatever, that's the thing now. It's sad. It's really fucking sad, you know, but it's what we have right now. And I hope soon, you know, it will be different again. Who knows? I hope so.
Dude. Man, and about what you said, dude, like if you ever want to come back, if you ever want to speak on other subject, maybe like we can go a little bit more like detailed on like the industry side of it one day.
Don't do it, man. I'm not gonna be the right. I'm not gonna be that nice guy anymore. No, just kidding. No, it's yeah. Well, I mean, we can definitely do it. There's plenty to talk about, and. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No, but just cool. Just letting you know, basically, that this platform and this talks are like, this is my platform and is your platform. You know, like there's like, this is for everybody to be informed, to learn something, to feel inspired, and to have a good time. You know. Yeah,
so, it's really cool that you're doing this, man. It's I really appreciate it, and thank you very much for inviting me to hang out with you, man. That's what it's good to see your happy face again, and I hope soon we will share our stage again.
Oh man,
it's about time.
Too, brother.
It's about
me
time.
Too, man.
Yeah.
No, dude, likewise, man. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and I think there's 47 seconds left in our conversation.
We're gonna completely fill it. Yeah.
We don't care.
Someone said something. I don't know. I'll grab one of those guitars and give us a little tune. It's all decoration. That's all. You know, they're all out of tune. No, just kidding. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Everyone back home, stay safe. Nelson, stay safe. Stay healthy. Thank you very much, and keep your head up. And we will see each other hopefully soon again. And all the best with your project. And of course, we bless this mess and all you do. Keep on doing what you do, man. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, brother. Okay,
Bye-bye.
10 seconds. Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
brother.
Bye.
Bye-bye, team. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you,
you.
man. Thank you.